Dude, it's crazy that we got both of these today because, like, it kind of inspired you to get on to talk with me today.
Oh, we had to talk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the MLB thing is kind of one thing, but like when you hear the NBA news of them changing the draft lottery again, that's another thing,
Mhm.
right? It just keeps stacking, which in itself, I think the MLB introducing a salary cap is interesting in itself. I mean, having both of those things it is major, dude, at the end of the day. Like, these two things really do affect the league at hand and what we're looking at in the future. I mean, with the MLB, first off,
Yeah, let's do that first.
introducing a salary cap. Fun fact, I don't know if I told you this, Zach. Maybe I did before. But if you did not know, here's a fun little story. I was working one day, had a guy come in. I helped him upgrade his phone and stuff. And this dude was one of the vice presidents of Rapsodo. Do you know what Rapsodo is?
No, I
Raps
don't.
Rapsodo is a system used for baseball and golf where it measures the distance of the ball. So like if you're hitting the ball, it can measure like how far it goes. So like feet, bat speed, all that stuff. It pretty much just measures how far you hit the ball and yeah, how fast it
It's
goes.
just like a different version of like a golf like
It
thing.
does golf too. Yeah, so it measures how far the golf ball goes, how hard you
Hmm.
hit it, stuff like that. It also, for baseball, it measures pitching too. It's not just hitting, it's also pitching too. So it can measure how fast you're throwing the ball. It can also go by location and your movement on the ball when you're throwing like a slider, stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's like the number one system to use right now. They're actually partnered with a lot of MLB teams that use their system. But anyways, yeah, I was talking to the guy, and he meets with the MLB like every year, especially like beginning of the season. Like he has to be in those meetings with teams and stuff when they're doing like CBA talks and stuff like that. Because they're not just partnered with teams; they're also partnered with the MLB. So there's a lot of talks that go into that. But he warned me that the MLB was definitely going to be going into a lockout. He was pretty much 100% certain. He said if it was not going to be the season coming up, which is right now, it's going to be the one after. It's probably going to be the one after because we were talking about it, and he said the MLB is definitely going to be going to lockout because they are going to be introducing a salary cap at some point. And that's what happened today, dude. They finally pulled the trigger in the middle of the season. Um, they went in their meetings for the CBA with the Major League Baseball Players Association. They all sat down and went over with a salary cap. Just to go over it real quick, the salary cap and salary floor would be introduced in 2027. So, actually, going into next year, the salary cap is going to be capped at $245 million, and the salary floor would be 171 million. So that means the salary floor teams would have to at least pay 171 million or more so they don't get penalized. It's the same in any league, especially for the NBA right now. They have penalties if you don't meet a certain cap threshold of spending. And the reason they do that is because it's a good way to make sure that the owners are actually spending money and investing into these sports teams. Because that's one of the issues we have in the MLB is we have owners like with the Rockies where they own the team but they're not investing back into the team and spending money towards the team. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like the owner just it's more of like a side business than more something that they actually take very serious. So that's just an example right there. So it's kind of just more of keeping the owners accountable is why they have that. And currently, fun fact, if they were to introduce the 245 million cap, these are teams that would have to find a way to cut down their payroll or I'm guessing the MLB would probably have to give these teams a exception until the contracts are done because it's going to be kind of hard to cut the payroll down with these teams. So if they have the cap at 245 million, we have teams like the Mets who are over. They're at 334 million. Yankees 291 million. Dodgers 300 million. Deferred. Dodgers get close to 400 million, by the way. Blue Jays 283 million. Phillies 281. Braves 267 million. Absolutely insane money
No
being
one should feel
spent.
bad for these teams, right?
No,
Besides their
especially
own fans.
especially the Mets because the Mets are actually doing horrible this year and they have the highest payroll besides the Dodgers. So
That's actually hilarious.
yeah, so anyone that makes the argument, which I'll talk about later, about oh well the Rockies just don't spend enough money, so it's more their fault. It's not like the players or like the teams. It's more on the ownership that's not spending money, and it's like eh, you could still spend a lot of money and suck, so it
Hmm.
doesn't really matter. But um, teams that are under the floor right now, this is a like record high. Um, People that are under the $171 million floor, we have the Marlins, the Guardians, White Sox, Nationals, Athletics, Cardinals, Rays, Pirates, Twins, Rockies, Brewers, Reds, Royals, Mariners, and Orioles. That is 15 teams I just named off. By the way, that is half of the MLB that is under the floor. Um, so just keep that in
Dang.
mind. And fun fact, there are already a few teams that are already within the payroll range that they're showing. Um, Angels, Rangers, D backs, Red Sox, Giants, Tigers, Padres, Cubs, and Astros, they are like on the brink of hitting the cap. So there's pretty much
Wow.
like half of the league that's over or at the cap, pretty much. And then the other half is under the floor that they want to set a standard for.
So is the lockdown, would that come from the owners or is that like a player led thing?
So, fun fact if some people don't know the history of it, let me give you guys a history lesson. In 1994 was the biggest lockout in MLB history. It is still known as the worst lockout, maybe in sports history, besides the NHL lockout that was also in the 90s. And fun fact if you don't really watch the NHL, another history lesson, guess why it was one of the worst lockouts ever? Can you guess, Zach? Guess what they were arguing over?
This is the 90s.
Yep. Salary cap.
Bro, I was actually trying to
Isn't
think
that
of something.
crazy? So if you guys get what I'm trying to say here,
Yeah.
um, the worst lockouts in the 90s with the NHL and MLB have been salary caps. Um, Luckily, the NHL owner, not owner, commissioner, who is still commissioner to this day, he became a new commissioner in the 90s. One of the first things he did in his first year or two, he was implementing a salary cap right off the bat because he realized that the NHL was going to die or not survive as time went on because people were getting massively overpaid and players were getting also underpaid at the same time. So as commissioner, automatically he implemented a salary cap. He had the NHL locked out to the point where they'd even play a season, Zach. So, but they
Dang.
finally budged because the players weren't getting paid. He held out because he knew that this was better for the NHL and its survival. And as time's going on, the NHL is growing very well. If they ever get a crazy TV deal, it might rival NBA and the maybe NFL, but it'll definitely rival the NBA for sure if they can ever get a crazy TV deal, because that's really what keeps the NHL from being behind them is TV deals right now. Um, So just keep that in mind. But the MLB did not budge. I mean, they did budge. The MLB commissioner at the time um, did not keep with the salary cap, and the Players Association was able to win out and keep how everything is up until now. Um, so pretty much, we're probably gonna have another lockout. Um, I'm just hoping we have a newer commissioner in the MLB for a couple years now. I'm hoping this time around he's able to stick to it. I'm not gonna lie, being a fan, if we have to hold out a whole season just to get the players to agree to this, I'm totally for it. Um, I'm mad that
Waste
they
another
didn't.
year of Jordan Walker's prime.
Yeah, dude, but at the end of the day,
Just kidding.
dude, one season means the rest of our lives is how I see it. It's for the betterment of the sport at the end of the day. Um, the MLB cannot keep doing this. They just can't. Realistically, without the salary cap and the floor, like I explained before, if we're not going to get teams that are going to compete and have owners that actually care about their teams, then we just have a dying sport. We have teams at the bottom that aren't spending enough money because their owners are not wanting to pay more, um, because they're not as deep into the sport as other owners. Um, so that means we just need to get better owners in the league. Um, and then we have other teams that are spending outrageous money and deferring money later on so that they can, like the Dodgers, go on their championship spree. I mean, it's getting out of hand where it's just getting abused. It's not creating a good culture between ownership and players. Um, the only reason the players are going to fight against it is because they do make more money in this current payroll. Players like Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, these are best pitchers in the league. They are going to get paid millions upon millions of dollars for what they do. And if this salary cap goes into play, they will lose they will lose so much money. And I can understand their standpoint of that. That sucks. But at the end of the day, got to put the money to the side at this point. They will still get paid millions of dollars, just not as much as they would. Um, which at that point they're just being greedy. So if they do go into a lockout and it's a player, if it's the players causing the lockout once again, um, it's just the continuation of greed at the end of the day. And I'm gonna go with the salary cap all day because the sport of baseball is more important to me than players being greedy for not wanting to make a 200 $300 million contract or more over their career. I get they want the security, but at the end of the day, they won't have security if the game is not around anymore.
Absolutely. And just as a casual baseball fan, I'm tired of seeing the Dodgers super team. It'll be actually nice to have an even playing field for once, so that would be really cool.
Dude, it just makes sense. Like I I don't care what's gonna happen, dude, if we go into a lockout. Cool, man. We're gonna fight it to the end. Um, I blame old baseball fans a part of this because baseball fans back then, they were on the player side, and that's part of the reason why they didn't get the salary cap to go through because they had to fight the fans and the players at that time. Um,
Mm.
but I think at this point, with how much younger and more modern the player, not the player base, but the fan base is for the sport, um, I think they can get it done. Like, I will 100% be there to back the MLB for this. I know my opinion doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things, but with me and everybody else, um, as long as the MLB has majority of fan support for this, we will get the salary cap to get done. And I think they will have the fan base behind it because fans are tired of this, dude. Like, The older people don't care. Whatever, dude. They're boomers. I don't care. The newer people like us, dude, we want to enjoy good baseball. And the way that we enjoy that is a competitive sport. And the way that we create a competitive sport is having all ownership take it seriously. And all ownership is not, because they know that there's no floor. They don't have to pay these players. Players are going to get paid going to the Dodgers. Um, like people arguing and saying that, well, these owners just don't pay enough. Well, why would I? If I know that the Dodgers are going to spend $400 million and get every best player at almost every single best position, why would I even try? And even if I
Yeah.
do try, I'm wasting my talks. People don't realize the reality of things. Why am I gonna waste talking to Kyle Tucker in free agency, which he signed with the Dodgers? Why would I waste talking to him about a big contract when it's pretty much already set in stone that he's gonna go to the Dodgers? Like it's not really about the money anymore. He just wants to go and win a ring. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it just doesn't make sense, man. I, I'm excited. Get the salary cap in there. There's no reason not to have it. Should have been done a while ago, but we need to get it done now. Otherwise, I don't know if the MLB can continue to be in the position it's in.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to happen. And I think if they do, it'll actually, there'll be more people watching just because everyone knows, oh, it's going to be the Dodgers,
Dude,
Yankees at the top as usual. Cool. All the good free agents are going to go there. All the guys from Japan coming up, who are they going to go to? The Yankees, the Dodgers,
yeah,
the Cubs,
people are gonna
because
be
they can
more
afford
excited to
them.
hop on MLB The Show and do rebuilds. Like
And that's what really matters.
exactly, dude. Like everything's connected, dude. Like everything has a point of it, and salary cap is a big point. So